Katz and Cosby, entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And Rita, let's go to Ari Fleischer.
Absolutely. Former White House Press Secretary Ari Fleischer. Ari, your reaction to what's happened in the last 24 hours?
Well, my biggest fear is that we've let Iran off the mat. They were on the mat, but my biggest hope is that President Trump knows a lot about what he's doing in the Middle East. It's very hard for me to look at this and look at the guy who crushed ISIS, killed Soleimani, backed Israel to the hilt, attacked Iran, went after their nuclear everything, that he doesn't know what he's doing. And so my initial reaction was, why would we let them off the mat? But then I think you've got to let the president make these decisions. That's why he's got the job, and I hope he's got it right.
You know what I'm thinking about also, Ari, is that for political reasons too. What I've always applauded President Trump, like you just said, Ari, is that he's a tough guy. And he delivers. I mean, when he said he was going to go in, he pounded away in June at the nuclear sites. He took out Maduro. He was ready, I believe, last night, had this new, offer come back through the Pakistanis. And then on the other hand, Ari, he also, clearly wants to use force as a last resort. It's the peace through strength. And maybe in his mind, he's thinking, okay, let's one more time try. The Pakistanis are saying it's genuine. The Iranians are saying it's genuine. We'll see. But let's one more time. And then in the meantime, he can also put his assets in. And if he has to pound them like he was planning to do last night, he just does it 2 weeks later.
You know, Ari, this is Rudy.
Ari, go ahead. Your thoughts.
You know, I think that's exactly valid. But it remains, there's so much none of us know, and we're just going to have to ride out these next 2 weeks to see where it all goes. You know, what's he going to do if they sort of open up the Strait of Hormuz? What's he going to do if they really don't give us access to the uranium? He's got big decisions to make. The problem, though, is once you take your foot off the gas on a military matter, it's not as easy as you think to put your foot right back on the gas. It's not like it's a switch that you switch on, you switch off, you switch on, you switch off. Our military can do a lot of things. We can do it all well, but it's just not that simple to take your foot off the gas and put it back on.
Good point. Rudy, sorry, go ahead, Rudy.
Ari, it's like connecting dots for me. When I see, as you would say, letting them up off the mat, I accept the fact that I'm not privy to everything the president is privy to. I brought up last week, before there was any talk about it, about creating a failed state. And we know what that means. So I know the president does not want to demolish the infrastructure of Iran. That would just be horrible. So I don't know everything he's getting, but I trust the president. I trust his instincts. Here's a guy, that they try to kill, I don't know how many times, and he's come up like the phoenix. He's risen. And I believe he'll do it again. They're tough choices. One of the things I've been tracking was the Kurds. What happened to the Kurds? They showed up on the border. From what I understand, they were given weapons to arm a insurgency, but then they kept the weapons. So, there are a lot of moving parts here, and the enemy has a vote.
Ari, final thoughts.
Yeah, but this notion about the destroying their infrastructure, we were never going to destroy their infrastructure. When the president made that threat about bridges and their power plants, attacking bridges is ancient. That's not part of your civilian way of life. That's what the Russians are doing in Ukraine, attacking apartments. That's civilian infrastructure. Bridges since ancient time have been subject to military attack. Shoot, what do you think we did throughout World War II? We and the Nazis. Every time either one of us crossed a bridge, the other guy took it out. So that was always a part of a military operation, properly so. And I just want to say one last thing. This notion when President Trump talked about the annihilation of a race and all of that, and people on the left went absolutely crazy, extermination, they lost it. And I get it. President Trump speaks a very rough English sometimes. But you know what? He's fluent in Farsi. That was the language that the Iranian leaders understood. They opposed a ceasefire. He made that message, and now they agreed to a ceasefire. So when he talks like that, he's talking to the enemy. And I wish the American people, after 11 years, could just understand this about President Trump. That's his MO. He's the tough guy. He puts it out there. And sometimes in that region of the world, it's exactly the right message the enemy needs to hear.
Ari, that's what I told some of our European people. I said to them, maybe he's playing poker. Have you ever considered that? Instead of, what NATO, some of those NATO countries were saying.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Ari, thank you for coming on. Thank you for everything you've done, and God bless you.
Thank you, Ari.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And Rita, we're going to take a break right now, and who are we going to come back with?
We are going to come back with former Congressman Mike Rogers. He's in a big race.
From the great state of Michigan.
Yeah, and guess what? I can't wait to ask him because one of his challengers, a Democrat, was hanging out with a guy who hates America.
After we go to Michigan, we're going to go to California and talk to Steve Hilton, who got the president's endorsement for governor. And after Steve Hilton, we have KT McFarland for an update what's going on.
Can't wait.
In Iran. And Joe Concha at the end, the way the stupid media is playing it.
Unbelievable.
Let's take that break.